interference. We're going to talk about why that's important. And, so it's kind of a good, tomorrow's Day of the Machines. Well, I'm the engineer, so we'll kind of help introduce that Day of the Machines tomorrow. But ultimately, they don't want this information going out there, and I've been very bold about sharing all the sworn affidavits of people who actually witnessed election fraud, and they don't want us sharing that information. Mm-hmm. And that should be telling. I mean, if there's an old adage in politics that says if somebody's busy making a fool out of himself, you just let them talk, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, that's not what's happening here. They're trying to suppress this information. And thank God we live in America where we got this thing called the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And we're going to make sure, and now we've got a platform like Frank's to actually make sure that we can actually exercise that right. That's a big thing. That's a big deal.
Your statement, I saw it going around the internet last week. What did you say in that statement?
Oh, it's a one-pager. If you go to exposeelectionfraud.com, you can see the whole statement. Read it for yourself. Unlike a lot of our news stories nowadays where they only tell one side of the story. For example, when Dominion put out their cease and desist letter on me, it was broadcast all over the country, including the Washington Post and the Washington Examiner, Detroit News, all these guys. They picked it up and put it out. But when I put out my rebuttal, not one of them put it out there. You can see my whole rebuttal up there. And really what I'm highlighting is that everything I testified to is correct. The information that I'm sharing, they're trying to tell me not to share what other people put in their sworn affidavits. And I'll tell you, I just don't roll that way. I think people deserve to have their affidavits told. I think people should have an opportunity to testify to the truth. And in particular, I think it's important for us to be able to share that information now because what's happened in this last election was nothing short of a coup of the United States. And what happens in a coup? They shut down communications and they push propaganda. We need to start pushing back against this propaganda. And I'll tell you, today is an exciting day because I think it's a first shot back where we actually go off with the launch of the Frank Speech platform, where we're actually going back on the offensive and saying, no, guys, we're taking over our airwaves again. We're taking back our comms, and we're not going to be silenced.
That's absolutely right. And people are still tuning in. I mean, it's only 10 o'clock here. What is the exact time here? 9:55, not quite there. So we've been going now 13 hours.
Poor Brandon, man. Say a prayer for
went
him,
to
man.
bed about 4 a.m. this morning, working on absolute interference. We have a little bit more to go. And thankfully, I've let my son take over on one segment. It's a big segment. It's the big segment. Right, I was up till 4 a.m. working on that segment. But he's got to go back through. It's very tedious. He's got to go back through and blur in one of our confidential witnesses. Okay. So he's been doing that and then distorting the voice of our confidential witness. So I got a lot of it done and finished up about 4 a.m. this morning on that. And then he, of course, has been producing all of this all day with us. And so he's been over there in the post-production room finishing up on that one segment.
I hope people appreciate how much effort you and your family put into this. Because really, I remember when you're putting out the Absolute Proof documentary, and I remember, we were up in marathon sessions recording that, and there were some pretty long segments that had to go off and get edited. And you guys had that out in like 3 or 4 days?
We filmed it in 3 days and post-edited it in 3 days. So we did the whole thing in 6 days. Do you know that there were some other folks that were afraid to do it?
Yeah.
They were afraid of it because I guess they're afraid of Dominion, and I can understand why. And there were some other folks who just said it can't be done. You can't film and post-edit a documentary in 6 days. Now, most of my documentaries take many, many months, right?
Yeah.
But because I don't stay up all night long to do that, and we don't usually bring in 17 people at one crack and knock them all out.
Right.
But we were able to do the whole documentary, Absolute Proof, and film it in 3 days, post-edit in 3 days. We were pulling 18, 20, 21-hour, the last day, 24-hour days to get that done, and I was shocked we were able to do that.
Well, I wrote an article a while back, and it was called Never Before in the Course of Human Conflict Has So Much Been Owed by So Many to So Few. And I got to put you and your family into that category because I know how much effort is taken. Time is of the essence.
And the whole family is involved.
I know. And with every day that goes by, we see more and more craziness coming out of places like D.C. and my home state of Michigan. And we gotta make. Their time is of the essence. So the fact that you guys are burning the midnight oil to do this is appreciated.
Yeah. Do we have breaking news?
Yeah, breaking news. But this is I think this will be a good one here. This is that Zachary Patrizio or whatever?
Yeah.
But remember I said he wasn't too bad, and that's why I didn't, but he said he heard his name being called. Let's see what he has to say here. I kept not answering because I thought it was a prank call.
Hello?
Is this Zachary?
This is Mr. Lindell?
Yeah, it's Mr. Lindell. Hey, we're here. You're live here, and I wasn't answered because I thought you were. I didn't know if you were a real person. We're being attacked by my phone today.
Sure, are we on air?
Yeah, you're live on air here. I'm here. Can we put that?
Grab your mic here.
Yep. Hold on a sec. We're putting a microphone by here. Yeah, I was reading your article, and actually, you didn't even make the list because it was actually a pretty good article. Yeah.
Well, I think you know this, Mr. Lindell. I've covered you at Mediaite previously, so I date back all the way to kind of your earliest days. I've seen scientific proof and absolute proof. So I think I've seen probably all the proofs out there.
Right.
I know you have a ton more movies on the way, but I have a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
So
Well, go ahead. We love questions here on Frank.
Awesome.
And also tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., Absolute Interference is going to air.
interference. Sure. Yeah. No, absolutely. And
Yep.
then let me look at my list. What else do you have out? You have let's see. Hold on. You have Absolute Cover Up coming up as well, don't you?
Yeah, that'll be a couple weeks out. Right now we're moving one step at a time. We launched Frank today. It went great. We've had about 90 million people now have seen it. It's just an incredible numbers. People are onboarding now in order. We use their phone numbers going on Frank's speech and. But Absolute Cover Up will probably be 2-3 weeks out. We're going to show a lot of previews of that tomorrow, how Dominion and Smartmatic have tried to been covering up for years.
Flip this on for you.
All right. That sounds good. Well, I guess I'll kind of start a little bit farther back. So I did notice some of your fans were disheartened by the launch this morning.
Why were they? What do you mean? Who was disheartened?
Your fans
What are
on
you
Telegram?
talking about?
Your fans on Telegram.
Oh, on Telegram, no, we told them to be patient. We got launched early at 10 to 9. I put up a thing there because we were going to have them come in earlier and sign up, but I decided to leave them out and take them in order, and that's what we did. So we've been putting out their phone numbers, sending them text messages. I didn't read anything. I didn't think anybody was disappointed because we actually launched we're not just a Twitter YouTube combination. When you finally get all allowed access, you're going to see that this is a media broadcast platform. So we're launching in pieces, and today was probably the most successful launch of any platform in history, I would think.
I don't doubt that, Mr. Lindell, but I guess this was from Jerry Rico on your Telegram channel. He said WTF, and I don't want to use profanity because I would hate to violate the rules of Frank, but he says WTF, which, it says not working, been trying since Thursday night.
Oh, you know what? He could be a bot. Who knows? Could have been a bot. If he couldn't get in, we had 2.5 million people that came on before we even hit this 85 million. We did that wasn't our site. That was a load up site. By the way, that wasn't a site. That was a page we put up so people could pre-sign up. And, we had to be very careful not to let bots and trolls in. And we were attacked. My phone was even hacked today. That's why I wasn't answering your call. They were hacked. They attacked.
Well, it wasn't a hacker, Mr. Lindell. Do you really think it was a hacker, or do you think it just was a prankster? It seems like it was
we've got cyber guys that checked on it. My phone's been hacked, so my phone numbers come up. It'll say the actual person that's calling, and then it comes on. If my phone's been hacked, I have to get a different phone and probably a different number. I have guys here. We have protection. We have cyber guys. Yes, it was hacked, and yes, we have proof, and I don't have to tell you that. But it is true. This wasn't a prank phone caller. It's been coming in all day. We have law enforcement looking into it. My company, they went after them today in Minnesota. We had people come through the front door. Yes, this was an all-out attack, and I don't have to sit and explain that to you. Once again, I don't know. I don't know what you're coming on here to discredit. Why don't you come on here and say something like, wow, Mike, my pillow, good for you suing Dominion because of our right to free speech. Our right to free speech. Good for that. They attacked your company with 2,500 employees. Wow, I can't believe Dominion, a rotten company, would do that to you, who won't even show their machines. Why don't you come on to something like that and say, wow, you launched 90 million people seeing this platform? Why wouldn't you come on and talk about like that? You're a perfect example of the rotten journalists that call me and ask me these questions and try and find a little thing about, oh, this person, one person on Facebook said this. Boy, you're a failure. You're going to write your garbage article? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to turn on
Mr. Lindell, you're Mr. Lindell. I'm asking you a series of questions. That's all. You don't. We're both being respectful here. So
I'm not. No, I want you to ask a question. I'm asking you a question. Why won't you go put down in your article headlines? My Pillow sues Dominion over the right to free speech.
So
Alan Dershowitz is the lawyer. He says it will be the most important case in American history. Why wouldn't you print that? Tell us. You got 60 million people listening to you.
Absolutely.
What's his name again? Zachary who?
Zachary.
What's your name?
Patrizio.
And who are you with? Some unknown rotten company called Salem what?
I'm with Salon.
And you're with
Salon
Media. And is that big?
Well, they're known for this kind of thing.
This kind of rotten stuff.
Me.
You know what? I took your call. Why wouldn't you? I'm going to ask you, as a journalist, why would you not write that? Why would you not write anything negative about Dominion? I'm asking you the question.
Yes, I'm going to answer it, Mr. Lindell.
Answer that. Why would you not put that?
I wrote one of my headlines when I spoke with you before at Mediaite.com. One of my headlines was the biggest case in history for free speech. My Pillow CEO says Alan Dershowitz has joined his team. That's one of the headlines. The other headline says Alan Dershowitz rejects Dominion lawsuit against My Pillow CEO. This is in quotes, I don't think they're going to get any pillows out of this.
Right, and when I got no problem with that. I'm asking you the question.
Mr. Lindell, I've been more than fair.
I get that. This is a question for you and all media outlets. It's just a question, simple questions for our audience. Why have you not wrote anything like this? Why? Here's the headline you should write. Why won't Dominion show us their machines? How about that for a headline? I dare you to put that. You know what? You can come and work for Frank. You write that tomorrow. Why won't Dominion show us their machines? What are they hiding, America? What are they hiding, America? What are they hiding? Why can't the outlets talk about machines or vaccines? Put in your article. Mike Lindell says the vaccine is mark of the beast. There's another headline for you.
Right. Yeah, I was the first one to cover the mark of the beast.
Right, and they took it down. They made you take it down.
No, the article's still up. The article is still up. It was from you from Mar-a-Lago. The article was the first one out there. Mr. Lindell, hold on.
Tell me your other questions. You're taking up a lot of time here.
Well, it seems like you're growing a little impatient here, but so absolute proof. I watched the whole thing.
Right.
I watched scientific proof. Right.
Yep.
And so a part of the whole thing with scientific proof was this kind of like speculation about census data. Right.
No, it wasn't scientific. No, that's not true. That's not true. It based it. You can do it yourself. He took extra numbers of people that voted and more people in the rural areas because they based it on the 2010 census. You can check that same thing. Maybe you didn't understand what went on there. Every single county in the state, the exact percentage in every county of 25-year-olds voted, exact percentage of 30-year-olds voted, exact percentage of 55-year-olds. You know what the odds of that is? Gazillion to zero. It's impossible. No human can do it. You can sit there in your own. We're going to show you how tomorrow. Dr. Frank is here. He will personally show you how you can do that, and you figure out in your own county how many votes were taken and stole and voted over. But tomorrow you're going to see something better than that. You're going to see absolute interference. You're going to see a cyber. Now listen, we brought in the guy the government uses, their number one cyber guy in the world, and he validated absolute proof. Okay, you're going to see that tomorrow. After tomorrow, there isn't one person in this world that should say China attacked us. Donald Trump won 80 million to 66 million. The day when you watch this tomorrow, you're going to be so happy. You're going to go, wow, I can quit writing lies anymore. I can just tell it like it is. I can finally say that it happened. This is amazing. Praise the Lord.
Mr. Lindell, I mean, I'm struggling to see the apparent problem, but I've been more than fair. But my point being, so one other question for you. So in regards to, your big, you run a lot of ads on Fox News. Do you have any plans? You know, I've kind of heard you share a lot of grievances about Fox. You just recently spoke to the effect of, why isn't Tucker Carlson having me on? Why isn't Laura Ingraham having me on? I
also said, why isn't Anderson Cooper having me back on? He promised me was. I advertise on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, and over 5,000 outlets. So I don't know why you're trying to pin it on Fox. The only thing I question about Fox and every other outlet, including CNN, including MSNBC, you've got to be all-inclusive here. All of them will not have anybody on to talk about machines or vaccines. Alan Dershowitz went on TV this morning. Open your eyes and your ears. He said he was even censored and taken off a platform because here's a liberal that talked about the vaccines.
Okay.
I mean, what are you trying? Listen to where you're trying to bring your story. Mike Lindell says Fox won't let him on. Nobody cares anymore about the rubbish you write. Give me a break. Write about this. All the outlets won't have Mike Lindell on to talk about machines or vaccines. There's your headline. Mike Lindell, I talked to him personally on national TV, right here on Frank. I'm telling you what your quote. Don't sit there and pin Fox on me. I advertise on every single outlet out there in TV. Why are you putting our ads on Fox? This is my pillow. Do you know we advertise on CNN? They badmouth me directly. My pillow is separate from Mike Lindell.
Mr. Lindell, so you claim that 90 million people have come to Frank today, right?
Over that. It's over that now.
Over that? It's over 90?
Yes, we're keeping a ticker. The people that have visited the site, I'm not saying that they watch for 2 hours. I'm saying these are people, unique visitors. Yes. Why you got to? Do I have to prove that to you?
No. So you're saying that you had 90 uniques in one day.
In one day. Isn't that something? That's how much people are starving for the truth.
Okay, then do you have any like internal data to prove that, or is that just kind of?
No, you can add it to the list of stuff that you doubt, because you should be proud of that. I don't put out numbers that aren't real. You're going to see tomorrow. I'll go. You know what? While that cyber guy's here from the government tomorrow, I'll have him dig into all the corruptness in my phones that you think is just some prank caller. I'll have that evidence. He can say that on TV for you tomorrow. The exact numbers that hit Frank and how many bots and attackers and creeps attack my phone. Cyber guys that attack my phone, attack my company, attack the Lindell Recovery Network that's helping addicts across the country. That attacked our country. We'll give you that. We'll have it all valid for you so you can quit writing fake news, or at least say, if I show you evidence tomorrow, could you maybe put in your thing, Mike Lindell just proves everything.
Absolutely.
You will?
Mr. Lindell.
Absolutely.
Lindell.
Then we can call you, instead of Zachary, we call you Absolute Truth.
That sounds great to me. Look, Mr. Lindell, I just read you pretty favorable headlines about Mr. Alan Dershowitz just a moment ago. Pretty right. Upfront and pretty honest headlines. So, right. Not sure why you're so upset. Look,
it's just your questions. You know why I'm upset is because you don't. Why wouldn't you write something positive? Why wouldn't you write? Mike Lindell says 90 million people hit Frank on the first day of free speech. Congratulations, Mike Lindell. Hey, Mike Lindell, MyPillow's employees that have stock sued Dominion today. This isn't Mike Lindell. MyPillow sued Dominion for free speech. They tried to cancel out 2,500 jobs. Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives. Why don't you want to write that story? Why not?
Mr. Lindell, look, I've written plenty of positive stories. Remember when you said that?
I'm asking you, why wouldn't you write? Do you think it's big news that MyPillow sued Dominion today for the first time Dominion sued? Isn't this big news to you that MyPillow, a company of 2,500 Americans and their families, got together and sued Dominion for the right to free speech, for you, the right to be a journalist in this country, the right for you to write anything you want to write. I gave you respect there. I didn't say garbage. I said, other reporters, I would have said garbage. You're a step up from there. So why wouldn't you want to write that? Why would you not want to write a big story like that? Why would you not want to write that Mike Lindell's Frank, the biggest success ever for a new platform? They tried to take him down, but they couldn't take him down. 90 million people, he allegedly says, you can even use the word allegedly till boy, you believe over at Suckabuck on Facebook when they put up fake news. What do you think of this? When I launched Absolute Proof, you said you watched it. Now I'm going to ask you a question. You said you watched it. Do you know when I put that up over at Facebook, you know what Mark Suckabuck did?
Yeah.
He put a cover over that said contains porn and nudity. Now I'm going to ask you, was that fake news by Mark Suckabuck? Did you watch Absolute Proof? Did you see any nudity in porn?
I did not see either.
Whoa, wow. So you think Facebook lied? Who fact-checked them? We got a guy right here named Zachary that fact-checked Mark Suckabuck. There was fake news. There was no porn or nudity in Absolute Proof.
I think, Mr. Lindell, I think their issue is that you're pushing unsubstantiated claims about the 2020 election. And I think both.
Oh, you think that's the issue? What about when I say I don't want to take the vaccine and people get censored for that? What about my friend that lost his Google Maps because he said something about the border? Is this what you believe in? Your bosses tell you this garbage? Unsubstantiated claims. I have put out Absolute Proof. What part of that didn't you believe? What part of Absolute Proof did you not believe? Tell me, because I will show you tomorrow. What part didn't you believe when you say unsubstantiated? What do I got to do? I've spent millions of dollars, and tomorrow I have the government cyber guy here that's going to say 100% accurate. Are you going to tell me that every person I hired, these are their trained things, everything we've done, you're going to tell me that's a lie? Because who's telling you it's unsubstantiated? You? Are you God? Are you telling me that? I've got the proof. I've got the proof. It's not unsubstantiated. It's absolute proof. It's absolute interference.
So fine. So, Mr. Lindell, if it was absolute proof, then why not just have the one movie, Absolute Proof?
Because you know why? Because I went out, nobody discredited because, and here's why. It's a good question. Now you asked a good journalist question. Why not just one movie? Because you know what? People said, well, Mike, do you have anybody, a third party that could back up that stuff? And I said, you know what? I'm going to go get them. I went out and spent a lot of money and retained the best I could find that works. This is what they're hired to do for the government, to find out cyber hacks. That's what this guy does. He's the highest rated in the world. He validated. You're going to see it all tomorrow. Then you can sit there and go, gee, why didn't you hire somebody else? There are two other ones. I have people that worked in there that are going to flip on them. These whistleblowers are going to come forth. They're not going to come forth tomorrow. They're going to come before the Supreme Court because they're hiding out now. They don't want to get killed because they tell what they did and stuff. All right. So there's your absolute proof.
All right.
You're going to have to watch the movie tomorrow, Zachary. I took your call. You might want to hold your report tomorrow. We'll see. The whole world heard here what I told you. So whatever you write tonight, remember, I'm going to call you out on it tomorrow.
Well, you can personally call me. Now you have my number, so you can personally call me, Mr.
Yeah, and I'm going to put you in there, too, so I don't think you're one of these fake attacks you say I've been getting, that just somebody with a prank call. No, this is serious. How would you like your family threatened and stuff? How would you like to be, you couldn't go home because you're trying to save our country? Thank me someday when you still have a job.
Threats against anyone are horrible. Look, that's not right? So we can agree on that.
What do you think? It's just some nut. This is what they do. This is what's going on out there. Are you kidding? We have over 200 threats from Dominion to people's families, to people's livelihoods.
Okay.
Why don't you write about that? You think there's some nice company? You paid for them out of your tax dollars. Wouldn't you like to know what kind of people they are? I don't get it. Why don't you guys write anything? Do you know Dominion? Are you part of Dominion or something? Why don't you guys write about them? I don't get it. Do you think they're a great company?
Do you think Fox News is in on the Dominion lawsuit? Do you really believe that, Mr. Lindell?
That's not what I said. I said Fox has been sued by Smartmatic and Dominion, and what they did is they used lawsuits so nobody can go on there and talk. But they've already been sued, so they should just be like OAN, and OAN, who's courageous, go out and just show the evidence that we already have the evidence. Why doesn't Fox talk about vaccines? Why don't they talk about things that actually work, like your hydroxychloroquine, myoleandrin? Why don't they talk about these things? Why? I'm asking you that. You know why? Because the mainstream media, you guys just all push out garbage stuff or shock news or some glorified garbage. But the mainstream media, they don't tell anything anymore because there's one narrative. China attacked our country. You think Democrats are in power right now? That's the party they used. These machines, it's over. We got to get rid of all the machines forever. It's got to be one ballot, one vote, one person. Use the purple thumb like in Iraq. Do your research. You'll see that's a good thing.
All right. So like I was saying, so you're not at all discouraged by the platform still not being up. And also,
wait. What do you mean the platform not being up? It's been up all day, and people are on there. What are you talking about? Did you not hear? We let people on by their phone numbers in the order they were received.
Yes,
people that signed up early, we let them on. They're already on there just because maybe you didn't put your phone number in.
Many users are still not onto the platform.
Who told you that? What are you talking about? Every 90 million people got on here today. Go print your garbage. We're done talking. You see, people, what we have to put up with? That they say, this guy's trying to say this was a failure. There's no disappointment. This was the best day for America. This was, what is it today? The Patriot Day? This is the Patriot Day. And you know what? The shot heard round the world. This will be heard round the world. You know what? No one's going to bother and read your rubbish anymore. Because they're all going to be going to Frank, where all the great reporters are coming, where you know what? You better change your name and come on over to Frank. Nobody will know that you were one of the guys working for these terrible outlets. We got to go. So say goodbye. We gave you a lot of time here, Zachary. You call tomorrow after you watch Absolute Interference. I will take your call. If you still have questions after that, you call me. But I probably won't hear from you. We got to go now. All right, we're very happy. The quote is this: I've never been more happier with the launch of a platform in my life. This has been a blessing. They didn't take us down. We got out to 90 million people. God bless America. It's a great day for all humanity. This is the start of getting our country back. Talk to you later. Anything else? Any last words?
Yeah, I mean, so do you really believe that Trump's gonna be back in August Trump's gonna be back in office by August?
Yeah.
It seems like even Roger Stone was a little bit like.
Yeah, yes, I said yes. It doesn't matter what Roger Stone. He hasn't seen the evidence. Come on. I'm telling you, when the 9th Supreme Court justice, we got to do something. Why don't you ask me that stupid question tomorrow? You're going to probably say, Mike, I think you're wrong. I think it's going to be June. That's what you're going to say to me tomorrow. Come on, Zachary, watch the movie first. Quit asking me stupid
Lindell,
questions.
I've seen like 5 hours of footage already. Like why not make this the big deal that it is and already have your evidence out? Why do I have to watch another 2 hours of programming? I've already seen like 5 hours of programming.
5 hours? What are you talking about? Today was my program getting out of Frank's speech. It's about the First Amendment. It's about My Pillow, Sue, and Dominion. Tomorrow we're coming out at 10 a.m. Central Time. We're launching Absolute Interference so that everybody got on here today, 90 million people. They're going to go tell all their friends. You're going to have to sit through it because otherwise you're going to be the only one not watching it tomorrow. You don't want to be behind them other journalists. The other ones I don't even let call me until they watched it. You're way out in front of them. You actually watched the other two. This is absolute interference.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I've already seen 5 hours of programming between Absolute Proof and Scientific Proof.
No, that's 3 hours. 2 hours and 1 hour. That's 3 hours, but good try. You can make sure you get that right in your article. One's 2 hours, one's 1 hour. Tomorrow you're going to see the people that validated it. Do you understand? What was your question in the last one? Didn't you say, well, where'd you get them numbers from? Anybody could have wrote that. Anybody could have wrote that. Really? Tomorrow you're going to see people that are trained to check for our cyber attack. Do you know, Zachary, this last week on TV, Adam Schiff, and who's that other guy?
Christopher Krebs.
Christopher Krebs, that said it was the safest election ever on Morning Joe. 4 days ago said, you know what? And we're going to show it on TV tomorrow too. He said the biggest threat to our country is a China cyber attack. It got right down to the local races, he said. Go watch your TV, do your due diligence. Even the Democrats know, even people in office know this was a cyber attack. You're going to find out tomorrow. If you don't want to watch Christopher Krebs, that said it was a proof. You know, I just went out. I said, you know what? I want to make sure everybody knows is 100%. I don't want you being 98%. Zach. How close are you? Are you like 58% that it was a cyber attack, or are you where are you at on the scale of 0 to 100? Do you think our country was attacked that our election was fraudulent? So I'll ask you that. I'll give you one last chance here to answer that. 0 to 100. What percentage would you say? A scale of 0 to 100, 100 being 100% attack, and 0 being no attack. What would you say?
Well, yeah, I'm not super sure. I mean, your documentaries weren't like super convincing because, it's already 2 documentaries and we're going for more documentaries now.
Well, you watched them. What would you say? 0?
I mean, pretty close. I mean, I've looked up Dr. Frank too, and it's like, he's not the most reputable person. Like he's not even like currently a professor.
So you're saying 0. So are you staying 0? You don't have to be Dr. Frank to do this. You can do it yourself if you take your time tomorrow. We'll give you the instructions. Go do it in your own county. I'll bet everything I have your county was cheated. How about that? I'll bet your job. You go. So if you're at 0, that's what you're saying. So if you're at 0, I think you need to watch Absolute Interference because you'll be at 100. What I was going to say is I don't care if you fall at 0 or 98. I want you at 100, Zachary. I want everyone in this country at 100.
Mr. Lindell, as you can tell, my only North Star is the truth.
His only North Star is the truth.
Okay. Well, the truth is you need to watch this tomorrow for yourself and your... Do you have a family?
Yeah, I have no comment on that matter.
Well, I'm just asking if you got kids or grandkids when they're coming. I don't know how old you are, but this is for their future.
That's fine. I'm 22.
Okay, whether you for the future of your family, of your kids and your grandkids, everything is happening right now. If you thought that you were at 100% that this happened to your country, wouldn't you want to do something about it for your kids and your grandkids? Because you know what? If what I'm telling you is 100% true, you do realize there's never going to be an election again with these machines. If I'm telling you it's 100% true, doesn't that scare you that China picked the winner and that you're never going to have another winner again, that no one's elections don't mean anything? You're going to end up like Venezuela was in 2 years, and they're crying down there. I just talked to their country yesterday. They're praying that we stop these machines down.
You talked to their country?
Talked to the people in their country, yeah. I was talking to Venezuelans in Tulsa. There was Venezuelans there, and they live stream it down to their country that they were all in there. They've had this happen. You can put that. Michael, don't talk to their country. You do realize that the internet goes around the world. You're in 100 countries right now, Zachary. It's called technology. Come on. Jeez. We got to go. This is crazy. Watch it tomorrow. Call me back. We got to go. Thanks. See ya. All right, there we heard it from Zachary. This is what we got to put up with. I mean, you talk to their country? Now you can see tomorrow. Mike Lindell talks to the country of Venezuela. Well, yeah, they hear it. Venezuela, I know you're out there watching. So are over 100 other countries. This is the kind of garbage we got to put up with and listen to, is these guys, they can't print something that's, positive, that's gonna help our country, help all Americans, help the world. What a shame.
What a shame, exactly.
But anyway, so that was a good way to end the day with this as how entertaining is this? This is what I put up with. We want the mainstream, what he's trying to get at there. Oh, Fox won't have you on. Neither will CNN. Neither will cowards like Jimmy Kimmel. Neither will cowards, Bill Maher, The View. I'll go on anybody's station right now. You see, I'm even talking to the slime stations like Daily Beast and Business Insider. I talk to them all. I got nothing to hide. When you have nothing to hide, you can talk to anybody, But I see we're beeping. We're running out of batteries here. We're going to have to go. Do you see that?
The cameras are, but we aren't.
Yeah, the cameras are, but we're going to go. You guys, we're going to show you what he was talking about there. We're going to run Absolute Proof, the short version, the 28-minute version that I made for all these. What do they call that? Should we call them journalists? What would you call them? We're calling them propagandists. for all these propagandists, is that a word?
Propagandist, yeah.
Propagandists. For all the propagandists, we made a short version, but you guys just go ahead and watch it. It's 26 minutes, and I want everyone you see what you get out of that. And tonight we're gonna roll. We're gonna hear the lineup we're gonna have. We're gonna have the short version of Absolute Proof. Then we're going to have an hour show, what this mouthy Zachary here just said about Tulsa. You're going to see, when I did this speech in Tulsa, this was 3 days ago, there was 5,000 people and hundreds of millions or hundreds of thousands of people, I want to get hundreds of thousands of people that watched it around the country. And it could have been a lot more than that. I didn't get the numbers. I'm not going to throw a number out.
500,000 is what they put on the screen.
500,000 they put on the screen. But when I got done, I had interviews, and one of them was from Venezuela. So I talked to them. I did over 30 interviews
You
there.
did 42 in one day.
42 interviews, people. And so you're going to watch that hour show there that I have. You're going to learn about where I come from, the American dream. You're going to show where we are as a country, what's going on. And then we're going to show, after that, we're going to take a break. Then we're going to show Absolute Proof. Let's show that.
All right.
In its entirety. The 2-hour Absolute Proof. And then we'll circle back. We'll probably sleep for a couple hours. We'll keep the cameras rolling with
Patrick.
Patrick.
That's great of you to volunteer, Patrick.
You just stay up all night for he's a delegate fellow, for he's a
I did it in
delegate.
Detroit. I can do it here. That's right.
But yeah, he's worked hard in Michigan. And you guys, there's so many people out there working so hard, but now we want you to get involved. I know a lot of you,
Pat, you want us to chit-chat a little bit while they set up the short version of...
yeah.
You want us to chit-chat a little?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably, we're gonna twitch off, taking a break, but yeah, go ahead and chit chat. I'm gonna run to see if they're ready to go.
Give me that mic.
Oh, you need a mic. All right, everybody. Well, that was entertaining. I'm glad I called you back.
25 minutes. Okay, now what I take...
This is what I put up with. I've learned that with this media, you either get the ones that, some of them, I make them talk to me. Let me tell you this. When they call me every day, media like that, and even ones that are even a little stepping stone up from there, but I mean, media, they're horrible, absolutely horrible. But some of them want to get right. Hey, they talk over me, they go, oh, I asked you this. No, you called me. Like, in his respect, I called him back, so, gave him a little
But he called
grace
you a
there.
lot.
Yeah, he called me a lot. He called me like 10 times.
I saw
But
it.
I took his call. Now, let me tell you this. This is what I put up with these guys. I sit there and I make some of them. One time, a guy from Politico, I talked for 50 minutes before he got to answer the next question. You're going to call me. You're going to hear what I have to say. Don't just call and give me a thing because I'm going to figure out their angle. I'll figure out their angle.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they want to go off
Yeah.
and do. They never want to hear your side of the
No,
story.
they don't want to hear that.
It's called Mad Lib journalism.
You know what I did? I'm going to tell you what I did. I got to tell everyone this. I got to put this back on. No, I'm going to tell everyone this story of two things. I was this happened last summer, and actually, I think I was down in Florida, and it was the New York Times, and I'm not going to say her name because she might get in trouble because she's a great gal. She read my book. I said, read my book. She wanted to do a 2-hour interview, a whole layout in the New York Times. So I said, read my book first, okay?
Silk was just watching that.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I want to tell everyone. So this gal from the New York Times and the campaign, people are going, Mike, you shouldn't talk to them, the New York Times. I go, no, I want them to read my book. She read my book. We spent 4 hours together. 4 hours I'm talking to her and telling her, this is the New York Times. And I want to tell you, so she went and she wrote this article. At the same time, well, actually, no, it was a different time. But the Washington Post, the guy came to me there and wanted to do an article. Same type of thing, full article. You know what I told him? I said, I want you to read my book, and I want to do it by Skype so I can look you in the eyes, not a phone call, And I did that.
Hello, everyone. This is Mike Lindell, the
and I
CEO
swear,
of
by the time
MyPillow.
we talked for hours.
As you all know,
and
I
this
have
guy,
been
when he
attacked
first came out, he was
the
a lot
last
like
month
little stubborn dad
relentlessly
over there,
on
they're just
social
young. They don't
media,
know any
by
better. They're
newspapers,
fresh
by
out of
TV
college. They
shows,
don't know.
by
He's a fighter there.
least he called.
At least he calls, he talked, and I like Zachary. But you know what? They don't know. They come out of these colleges brainwashed They don't know what journalism is because they think that this is what they're trained to do, attack. If you don't think China came into our universities and brainwashing people, socialism is good. No, it's not socializing people. It's an evil gateway to communism. In our country, they skipped over socialism. Communism is here now. It's take away our free speech. But I want to tell you, so both of those people, tale of two papers, two horrible papers, the New York Times and the Washington Post. Both these journalists, now they're young kids, they're both in their 20s, just like Zachary there. Both young kids. They got to know who I was, right? Yeah. They got to know who I was. We spent a lot of time together. And you know what? They both did these articles. Over here, the New York Times wouldn't even print hers. It was so good, so fair. You know, she couldn't help herself. She had to write this good, this article. And it was right down the middle. She put in Mike backs Trump and stuff like that, but she put in the good things. She put it was fair. Okay. The other guy from the Washington Post, he printed his article. They printed it. Guess what? It was so good. I reposted it. I tweeted it out. The guy and then CNN. Another gal did it at CNN 2 days before the 2018 election. Same thing. I met her. I got to know her. She put out the article. The election was on a Tuesday. She dropped on a Saturday on CNN or whatever it was. And this article, and it was so good. Eric Trump told me she had to lose her job. It was so good. It was just, but this is what's going on. And then after she wrote that article, here's another thing. When she wrote that article at CNN, MyPillow up until now was attacked more than any time in history. And I couldn't understand why. MyPillow's Facebook, we had to turn it off. And I'm going, wow, we've never had that happen before just by an article at CNN. You know why? Here's why. I figured it out. Jack Dorsey on Twitter, my followers would never go up, right? And I always try and talk to the people over here. I don't need to talk to people over here. I want to teach people over here. Just like the people that don't have Jesus to bring them to Jesus. I want to talk and help people. So I'm over here. I want to talk to these people. This is before the 2018 election. Well, now I figured out what Jack was doing. He was keeping me in a bubble. Just keep talk amongst yourselves type thing. He's keeping me in a bubble. And then as soon as it came out at CNN, it was like shock to their audience. What? Mike Lindell's a Christian and he likes this President Donald Trump? What? Hire the bots, jump on him, kill his company, crush, kill, destroy. I mean, give me a break. This is horrific, and we're going to change. Hopefully, Frank can change journalism, change it. Hopefully, like Zachary, can learn from his mistakes, learn from 4 years of wasted time in college. The poor fella.
Poor feller.
Well, no, seriously, these kids, I feel sorry for them. They don't know any better. But not only has God been taken out of our schools and our colleges, but they've been brainwashed for another thing, a terrible evil. And they're fighting for it. They're fighting, wanting that evil, and they think it's good. And now, he's going to wake up. And if this would go on too longer, when I said to him, you know what, you won't have a job, because he won't. If they take our country, Zachary, you're not going to have a job either. There's going to be one guy, if you've ever seen, I don't know, that one movie, Big Brother, comes out of a speaker. Hello, everybody, walk like this. Sit down. What's that movie? I don't know. 1984.
1984, yeah.
1984, or just study up history. Why do you think you're trying to bury history books so you don't know about Nazi Germany? They took away communications. They were some of the best marketers, that Goebbels, one of the best marketers in the world. Yeah, when you convince a whole population that they're better than other people, or that these people are bad, and you get people believing that. They brainwashed them, just like they brainwashed our kids like Zachary and all the other ones, the 3 Daily Beast reporters. I got to feel sorry for them. We need to pray for them. Pray for all these journalists. My prayer tonight is that the journalists across the country, the young ones, for all these Daily Beasts and Business Insider, and all these guys, and Newsweek, we pray for those 20 to 25-year-old these journalists out of college that don't know any better. Pray. You know what? Get on your knees and repent and read your Bibles and, really study and, go on there and look around you. Look around. Maybe you can't remember back 14 months ago when things were great because you're stuck in this thing. You don't know any better. You don't know any other life. Why would you pick on people? You come to my company and see those 2,500 families. There's 20 to 25-year-olds, and they'll tell you a lot different that you're wrong. What you're doing out there is wrong. It's completely wrong. You've been brainwashed by some communists coming into our country, and it's sad, and we're praying for all of you.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll let you guys talk. The longer I stay out, the more I'm going to talk. So,
All right,
Tell
let's.
you, that was so cathartic listening
That was
to you
very
on
interesting.
Mike, because
You know-
I've been in that same situation before, and you nailed it. The term unsubstantiated, they use to try to marginalize everything you talk about, and then they shape the story as Fox News versus Mike Lindell
Right, yeah.
instead of against all the media. So you
Against all the
nailed
media.
it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I advertise on all the media.
Right.
CNN.
They pick one.
CNN badmouths me directly. I'm not my pillow. We keep separate.
Right.
Beth, when they say boycott to Lori Ingram for this or boycott Tucker, I was the one standing there. These other companies would leave going, oh, they're going to boycott us. You know what they finally got to? On all the all the trolls on Twitter, boycott Mike Lindell and My Pillow. You go back a year, here's what they said. Don't boycott him. He'll double his ass. We see enough of that jerk.